Welcome to Ben Talks Money. Here we discuss stocks, investments, ETFs, and personal finance.
Hello there and welcome back to Ben Talks Money. My name is Ben. I have an MBA in Finance and Management. I have been trading for the past 8 years and I'm a full-time options trader. So in today's video, we take a look at 5 stocks that we are going to trade this week. And they will mostly be around the rare earth metals and their ETFs. This is because that is the reason why the whole market is going down right now. It's China tightening their grips on the rare earth metals. And on Friday, when the market was dropping, MP materials was shooting up about 15%. So it tells me that that is where the juice is right now. And we also take a look at some of the tech stocks to see what level that they are coming in and what to look for in case the market decides to bounce back. So let's get started. So again, the first stock that we will take a look at is the ticker symbol MP. And if you look at the daily chart here, this stock has been doing incredibly well. At the beginning of the year, it moved from about $20 all the way right now, trading around $82 right now. And we are looking for a hold around this level. If you look at it, the 78.30 is a support area. If this stock is able to hold above 78.30 and push forward, there's a lot of momentum in this sector. So we are looking for MP to hold above 78 and a push to 80, 85 and above this week. This stock can hit another 52-week high this week. The next one that we take a look at is also in the same sector, and that is Uranium Energy Corp, UEC. Also in the same boat. This stock was making a great move on Friday. It was up at some point about 18% before the news hit, but it still closed about 8% higher. So if you look at the chart here, this stock is very bullish. This stock is very bullish. You can see from here that it's been making some great move in the past year. And if you look at the trend line, let's see if we can have a trend line to see the channel that this stock has been trading in. If we draw the trend line, we can see that it's been trending up like very nicely. It bounces off the base of the trend and still pushes up. So we are looking for this stock to hold above 1450. If this stocks hold above 1450, we are looking to the next level that we'll be taking a look at is the highs of Friday, which was about $16. So a hold of 1450, a push to $16, which was Friday's high, and then a break above it, we'll be looking at $18. So that's what we are looking for UEC. The next stock that we'll be looking at is the Uranium ETF, another ETF. And just as in the same boat, if you don't want to buy one particular stock, I will employ you to go for the ETF. And this ETF has also been doing incredibly well, from $20 all the way to around $52 right now. It was going crazy on Friday before the news hit. It pulled back a little bit from 55.40 all the way to 51.80 area. If this hold this level, you can see on the daily chart that this looks like a flat top breakout, but look at the candle on Friday. It's a huge red candle, right? And it looks like an inverted hammer. So we have to be mindful of it if it's going to push down. But if it holds about $50.50, which is around right here, if it holds about $50.50, this stock will be going high on it for a push through $55. If it pushes through 55.50, which was Friday's high, if it breaks about 55.50, we'll be looking at about $60 in the coming weeks. Let's take a look at gold ETF. This has been doing incredibly well. Just look at that. It's been doing incredibly well, but I don't do technical analysis on gold because stocks that ETF like this, it just goes because people are just interested. And this is a blue sky setup. The all-time high is about 376. If it breaks above 376, this is good to go. And especially if the climate keeps being like this, you might want to pay attention to GLD. I've made a lot of money on GLD this year. This ETF has been going crazy. Again, look at where it started from. When it was basing around here, you see I have lines here because I've been watching it for a while. It broke above $300, pulled back, consolidated around the $300 area. You can see in this area, I watched it for a little bit, and as soon as it broke the previous all-time high, which was around 317, as soon as it broke above 317, I was in it around 320, and this has never looked back. From 320, we've been in it, and we've been going in and out of it from 320 all the way right now, trading around 370, which is an incredible move for ETFs like this. And this one reacts extremely well with options. If you know how to trade options, you might want to check this one out because it's incredibly good. It does incredibly well with options. That's the GLD. So now let's take a look at one of our favorites that we always look at it, SOFI. The sad thing about SOFI is that we made a video on SOFI. It was on our watch list last week. It touched the 50-day SMA to the T. You can see from right here, the 50-day SMA, that's the red line right here. It touched it to the T on Friday, last week Friday, and it held it. So Monday, we were in it from $26. We made the move all the way up to almost 30. It tried to break 30. It was consolidating, and then the news hit the market, and this thing dropped all the way back to $26. But you can see that it's holding tight here on the $26 support area. The thing is that when it comes to news like this, technicals doesn't matter. It doesn't. It will break through it with no hassle at all. But just for the sake of it, if this holds about $26, if it holds about $26.20, we can look to take a look at it. So that's the case for SOFI. Let's take a look at this one. It's also one that I really loved. Alibaba. I've made a good returns on Alibaba. It's been doing incredibly well, just like the others that I've talked about. And you can see here, this was my best trade of all. It came here, this hammer candle right here. It was a strong hammer. We went in there. It was around 170, and then we were in it all the way to 192. You know, it was pulling back a little bit. It did this inverted hammer here, and it pulled back. It did this strong hammer here. But the news on Friday, just look at it. And this is all the way down. So all these stocks, I think the best way to play it is to wait for it to touch the 50-day SMA. If nothing changes concerning the trade war with China, just wait for these stocks to touch the 50-day SMA, and that will give you some form of support, knowing that if it breaks above it, if it breaks below it, you'll be out. So that's the play for Alibaba. The other one too is the global copper ETF. This is something that you have to really pay attention to. COPX. A lot of analysts have been talking about copper, and if you look at what is going on with, again, China and the rare earth minerals, the COPX is something that you have to pay attention to a lot, because it was, again, doing incredibly well until this happened. But it's holding, it's holding around the $60 level. But again, the best way is to see if it can touch the 50-day SMA. But if you're looking for a long-term play in copper, you might want to look at COPX as a long-term play in copper. A lot of analysts, again, are saying copper is going to double because of what is going on with China. So COPX is one that we have to look at it. If you look at your regular AMD, I made a video about AMD that it was trading on a descending channel. It took a huge volume to break above the descending channel around $160, 165. It broke above 165 and it never looked back. You can see I have all this here. I take a look at these stocks, this chart all the time. I don't think AMD is going to come as far as the 50-day SMA because that'll be a huge drop. So psychologically, $200 will be the point that you might want to pay attention to on AMD. First will be 210, those round numbers, 210. And if it breaks above 210, you want to take a look at it at 200. But this could be, this is the 210 area, which is kind of like a support. So this thing is at all-time highs, so there's not much to talk about in terms of the support and the resistance. And let's look at NVDA as well. See, NVDA is still very bullish, even after Friday, but look at this candle again. The red candle is the highest red candle in more than a month, right here, if you look at the volume. But this chart is still very, very, very bullish. Look at it. It came and it held the support to a T. It touched the support level right here, and it held it around 180. And let's see what happens on Monday, what happens around this news. But one thing about NVIDIA is that the 50-day SMA is a little bit closer, which is around 175. So ideally, if it breaks below this 180 level, we want to see if it's going to hold the 50-day, just like all the other stocks. And the tech sector, if this thing doesn't get resolved as quickly as possible, the tech sector, especially the semiconductors, those will be the stock that will be hit the most. Your NVIDIAs, especially Apple. Apple is so entangled in China. Almost all their production comes from China. So 100% tariff on Apple means that the iPhone 17 price is going to jump up drastically if this thing is not resolved as soon as possible. If you look at Alibaba, all those stocks, but especially the tech stock, the semiconductors, NVDA, AMD, Broadcom, Marvell, Intel, those stocks, those semiconductors, they do a lot of business with China. So if things doesn't change, they are not concerned about the tariff. Their issue is with the software blockage, selling software and hardware to China. That is also being blocked starting from November 1st. So if it doesn't get resolved, you might have to pay attention. And I hope by now you've trimmed some of your position, because I've been making videos telling you to trim your position. Even though this was an unexpected news, the market was signaling a pullback. This market has been signaling a pullback for the last couple of weeks. I've been making videos about it. I even made a video on what to look for when the market is about to drop. And lo and behold, yes, we got the news, but the signs were there. So those are the stocks that we are watching this week. But our main focus is going to be on the metals, the rare earth metals, the coppers, the uraniums, the gold. Those are the stocks that we are focusing on, and the ETFs that we are focusing on, because that's where the juice is. If MP is the leading stock in this sector, and the moves that it made on Friday and even after market on Friday tells me that that's where we have to look at. And as always, I don't want to go against the market. It only hurts your pocket. Okay? You heard it here first. Going against the market only hurts your pocket. So don't go against the market. Trade what the market is telling you. Don't trade what you think the market is going to do. Trade what the market is doing. Because again, a wise man once said, going against the market only hurts your pocket. Okay? So if this video was helpful to you, please like and share. And if you are new here, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification. I do these videos 2 or 3 times a week, and I have a watch list like this every single week. Usually drops on Sunday. So if you are new here, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next time, let's keep making money.